Welcome back. So today I'm going to show you how to cook the perfect T-bone steak. With any steak, the best place to start is getting the best steak you can afford. You want to see a lot of fat, a lot of marbling. T-bone steaks are great because you've got the sirloin steak and the fillet steak in one, separated by bone, which means it's all going to add flavour, which is what we want. So, if you're starting and you've had the steak in the fridge, take it out at least 5-10 minutes beforehand and let the steak warm up a little bit before frying, because you don't want it to be all tense when you add it to the frying pan. Also, it'll allow for a more even cook as you're cooking it. Then what you want to do once you've taken it out of the fridge is you want to put olive oil on each side. You want to put salt and pepper to season on both sides. I actually couldn't fit this steak in my pan, it was too big, so I've actually cut off a little bit. I'm trimming some of the fat here because that amount of fat might not render, but I'm still using the fat in the frying pan whilst I'm cooking the steak, because I still want the fat there and I still want the juices from that fat. So, another tip, get the frying pan, if you can use a skillet or something with a thick base, it's going to keep a lot of the heat in. What you want to do is get the frying pan searing hot before you start cooking. So as you can see, that steak, when it hit the pan, it started searing very, very nicely, which means you're getting that nice golden colour when you start to turn it round. I'm probably cooking it on about 3 minutes either side or 2 minutes either side until it looks a bit golden, and then once I've got it golden on either side, that's when I start thinking about adding things like rosemary or thyme or bay leaf or garlic or butter. All these things work really well with steak. Here I'm just using rosemary and I'm using butter and I'm also using garlic. I like to disperse the butter on either side, so it starts to see it melt down on either side of the steak. And you also want to just keep monitoring your steak. You don't want it to be burning on either side. You also want the fat to render. So you can see that there was a little bit that wasn't rendering down, so I've turned the steak like this and letting that just cook within the butter for a couple of minutes. And then you can start thinking about basting your steak. So turn your pan towards yourself, let all the butter melt down into the garlic and the rosemary. You just want to start basting your steak and just letting all the juices that's come out of the steak, you bring it back into the steak by basting it. Then, next top tip, let your steak rest. Let any meat rest for at least as long as you've been cooking. So this allows the steak to relax after the cooking process and keep some of the juices in. So I'm letting that just rest by the side. That allows me to allows me to show you, check out my Instagram channel if you haven't already, Meaty Eats. I post all the pictures of the food that I'm cooking on my YouTube channel. So check that out, it's at Meaty Eats. Anyway, back to the steak. So I've let that rest 5 minutes. I know the kind of presentation I want to do for my Instagram channel. I know things like a steak, all I need is just a wooden board, a few of the ingredients that I've used. It's actually pouring with rain outside, so I had to cover it. And then I sort of just knew the angle I wanted as well, so I'm just taking a flat landscape shot, getting a lot of the different things in there, and that's sort of it. Check out my Instagram channel at Meaty Eats. Hopefully there's a few tips there of how to cook a T-bone steak. It's probably my favourite cut of meat. Very simple, probably an 8-minute cooking process. Good to go. That's going to be able to feed 2 as well, or 1 hungry person. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time.